2022 has witnessed significant advancement in various areas of development. Today, I'm glad to be joined by the global student ambassadors of Tsinghua University, and we'll be discussing which development areas and related events or items of news caught your attention in 2022 and why. Anyone want to start first?
So for me, it's definitely climate issue. So as an environmental researcher, I was honored and privileged to join COP27 last month in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. And it is interesting because it's the first ever COP to have dedicated youth envoy for climate change. And also there was a first ever children and youth pavilion as well, which is, I would say, the most vibrant in the COP venue. Significantly, there are loss and damage funding arrangement to be established throughout the coming year, although it still has a long way to go in terms of where does the money come from and also who to spend on. But still, it is one step towards climate justice.
Indeed, there were a lot of firsts for youth at the UN Climate Change Conference. Big wins for the young people. Congrats. Kathleen, you also want to share something about youth, right?
I've also been paying close attention to youth employment since I'm myself a student. And although we're going through some very tough times in China, the government has been deploying new policies earlier in September to counter this pressure and encouraging private and public sectors to expand their opportunities, as well as strongly promoting young people to start their own businesses. So you can see these massive surges of Gen Z entrepreneurs. That is something to be really looking forward in the near future.
That's exciting. Julia, you mentioned you read a report about unemployment.
The news that caught my eye is actually a report that's been released in August about the higher percentage of unemployment for the youth generation. Actually, in Russia, the whole unemployment situation is really affecting the whole country, because right now, more and more students are trying to get a higher education. They're working hard. They are not only getting a master's degree, they're also getting a PhD. A lot of them are just staying at universities, not going out for work.
I see. But besides unemployment, the turbulent European economy is also impacting other areas of development too. Let's move to the other side of Europe. Adrian, your thoughts?
Like with the inflation rising and higher energy prices and food prices, Germany has, like, the poverty has increased the gap between the rich and the poor, and especially in elderly people, like poor elderly people has increased amount in Germany, like obviously. And also, but the good news is Germany government has put in a lot of effort in trying to fixing the issues. They're planning to spend 200 billion euros in fixing the issues. So I really look forward to the result in the future and how it goes. A lot of people may think like development of no poverty may not, affect them because it has no concern with them. But I think this kind of development, it affects everybody. So everybody should, pay attention to these kind of news as well. Yeah.
Very true. Increasingly, more young people are paying attention to income inequality and poverty situation. Xiaoxi, I heard you want to share something about eradicating poverty as well.
We all know last year the complete victory in China's fight against poverty has been declared, and many papers and reports has analyzed the achievements. The insights on improving connectivity to drive poverty alleviation has offered a different perspective for me. Data has shown that 10 people will be lifted out of poverty for every 10,000 yuan spent in the western region of the country. So besides improving the access to markets for the poor to sell their produce, the roads could also make new agricultural technologies and education opportunities available. So as to the latest data, the number of people living in poverty remains huge. Hopefully, the exchanges between different countries could offer some references or spark the inspirations on solution for this pressing issue.
I agree. Global cooperation will be the key. And this is why no poverty is goal number 1 on the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development of the UN. You mentioned agriculture and farming. Samson, there was something related you learned from the recent COP15 biodiversity conference, right?
While attending COP15 in Montreal a few weeks before, I realized there are many agriculture initiatives and technology throughout the world. For example, in California, the United States, NGO and association are converting unused farmland during the winter into wetland, which will provide a living environment for the birds, and at the same time, the birds will leave feces to nurture the soil for future farming seasons. By the way, it is also a great carbon sink. So hopefully there can be more and more synergistic solution found to addressing multiple environmental challenges at the same time.
So instead of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, it sounds like we're saving more birds in return while creating a healthier living environment and ecosystem for nature and humans. Talking about human health, it is unfortunate that the pandemic is impacting not only our health, but also our education system. Zhao, you mentioned you came across an inspiring video of a schoolgirl recently. Can you tell us more?
Special education for children with disabilities. I found the efforts could be traced back to decades ago, and the government has been always improving laws, regulations, infrastructures, and encouraging children with disabilities to learn in regular classroom. And just this January, a further action plan has been proposed with the aim to achieving 97% enrollment rate of school-age minors with disabilities in compulsory education by 2025. I believe and hope the development of special education could lighten up the journey and the lives of children of disability.
Technology and digital innovation also played a very important role in promoting education development. Catherine, would you want to share more?
So education has been an important topic in many countries, and especially here in China, as it is an essential tool for the development of future generations, so including us. And so the 2022 International Forum on AI and Education that was held earlier this December has played an important role in providing an inclusive, equitable, and high-quality education using the latest technology advances and AI solutions. So myself being a student, I will be paying close attention to this rise of digital integration in education, as it is crucial for the building of a shared future for humanity, where we will be playing an important role.
Relating to science and innovation, Zhao, you wrote something pretty cool recently.
This June, Shenzhou 14 spaceship has been launched and it entered the Tiangong space station. 3 astronauts carried out the mission, performing spacewalks, conducting a live science lecture, and a range of experiments there. One of them is our Tsinghua alumna Liu Yang, China's first female astronaut in space. I was very honored to write her feature story on Tsinghua's global communication platforms. The writing process gave me an opportunity to know more about China's exploration in space. It is motivating numerous people with the spirit of discovering vast universe and new possibilities. I quite look forward to it.
Definitely very motivating, particularly to aspiring female taikonauts or astronauts around the world. And for global development, of course, multilateral and regional cooperation is critical. Any thoughts about this in 2022?
So there are actually 2 aspects of multilateral and regional cooperation interest me a lot in 2022. So first one will be like common countries, the multilateral cooperation between like common countries such as ASEAN and BRICS, because they have shared interests and characteristics, and it makes sense for them to cooperate, to learn from each other. And the other type I would say is the, for example, the China-Arab Summit. they are able to complement each other's pros and cons, and in order to build a community for shared future. So I think both of the cooperation are needed and have to be strengthened in the future.
Building a global community of a shared future. What a wonderful reminder for us all. To wrap up, what are your wishes for the year 2023?
I wish that in 2023, the whole economical situation in the world is going to change for the better.
There are many important decisions made during multilateral meetings in 2022, and I really hope we can turn them to implementable actions and look forward to more details so that we can move one step closer to protect our shared planet and also uphold the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities.
So I hope 2023 will be a year with peace and no pandemic.
I think challenges has underlined the importance for global collaboration. So hopefully we could stand in unity and embrace the shining lights for the future together.
I am very much hoping for a peaceful and interconnected world for our younger generations to seize and create opportunities together for building a better future. And also Happy New Year to everyone.